Have I been looking forward to this, viewers? We're with Joe Forrest, and Joe is the ops guy for creators. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate the time.
I appreciate you giving your time because you're the ops guy for creators, and you better start off by telling us what that means.
Well, I mean, over the time of my adulthood, I've done a lot of things. I was in the United States Air Force for about 12 years during the whole GWAT period. Been to war a couple of times, but the things that I actually learned from there that help creators is all the logistics type stuff. And of course, I trained thousands of people. So I learned a lot of my basics there in the military. And after that, I worked for Fortune 500 and Fortune 50 companies like GoDaddy, Google, CBRE, and then a few lesser known companies that probably nobody would know about, but they were big globally as far as their infrastructure goes. And the biggest thing that I see with most creators that kind of holds them back in today's world is they just don't seem to have like an operations plan. If you're going to have a business, you got to treat it like a business. And so that's what I hope to kind of offer people. Basic skills that you might not get taught by other people that will help them actually succeed and keep succeeding and keep it easy and simple.
With your experience in the Defence Forces and also your experience working with Fortune 500, Fortune 50, big corporations, you could have taken that experience into any one of a number of fields to be an independent operator, but you're focusing on creators and is it digital creators specifically?
Um, well, in the broadest sense, it's creators in general, but specifically, I think the easiest path to get started is digital creation because there's a very low overhead. Doesn't take a whole lot of money to get started. If you know the right things to do, if you're given the right blueprint, it's basically no cost to get started. And it's very easy to produce products. If you know what you're doing and you can produce it at scale, you can make a lot of money fast.
Well, let's just clarify something here and give credibility to what you're saying, Joe. You've got a Gumroad store and you've got quite a number of digital products there on that store, and you've got them available as single products. You've also got them bundled together as special offers. How long ago was it when you started your Gumroad store?
Well, I've been messing around. This isn't actually my first Gumroad store. I've been experimenting on Gumroad for, I guess it's close to 5 years now. I've
Oh,
done several projects on there, and some failed, some made a little bit of money. This is the one that I've decided to stick with though, and make my flagship store. So I've experimented with all their features. The biggest one, like I mentioned to you, I think that a lot of people don't know about is the affiliate feature, which can make you a lot of money and help you make a lot of sales with, by kind of sharing the love with other people, giving them a little bit for sharing the links. They've got some new features too that I'm still kind of diving into, like the Gumroad AI. And so far, that thing's been pretty amazing. Like, you need a landing page or anything like that, or product descriptions, it'll rattle it off in no time.
well, we better come back to that. That's interesting. Excuse me. So there's quantification of your credibility. You've been on Gumroad, which is just one of a number of platforms that digital creators can uh, uh, publish their products and sell them either as one-offs or as bundles or memberships or even coaching services. There's so much variety in what we can do on a platform like Gumroad. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I see that some of your products, Joe, have got upwards of like 1,000 or 1,500 five-star reviews, or did I dream that?
I don't think they're that high. I've got a few that are over 100. And a lot of those, generally, I tend to give away a lot of stuff, like when I'm first kind of testing it to see if it has any value to people. Um, So a lot of those do come from when they get like that first taste. I kind of like to think of it as this is probably a horrible analogy, but I like to think of it as like working like a drug dealer. Give them a little bit of a free taste, and they'll come back and they once they realize the product is good, they'll come back and buy some more. I used to be a
We were going so well, Joe. We were going so well. Let's look. Oh, look out! We're going to be cut off.
oh no.
No, that's good. I get that. Our listeners and our viewers, and we've got some viewers, and welcome to those who are with us right now. Joe, all right, let's put ourselves together with our viewers. Somebody who's interested, because the headline of this live feed is digital product creation. So we're going to focus on digital products if we can. And you're the ops guy for creators, so you're into systems. This is something you've lived by as a ex-Defence Force military guy, and also then working with systems in corporate world. And so you've brought that into your independent operator, which is what you're doing now. But so okay, I'm somebody. Help me. I'm somebody who has an idea. I lack some confidence. I may either be aware of that and in denial, or I'm not aware of it. Therefore, I can't be in denial of something I don't know. But there's a blockage there. And I just know I want to do something more. I'd like to put something out there. I'm a bit scared. Don't understand why. Don't even know what to do next. So talk me through what you'd suggest I do as the first step.
Well, generally, if I'm actually consulting with somebody, the first questions I'll ask them are like, name 3 things that you like. 3 things that you like to do and you know something about. Whether that's, I don't know, I'll just take something like some of my kids' stuff. Like I know about Pokemon video games and, using TikTok. Well, those are 3 things you can sell. I mean, somebody out there wants to buy that stuff or something about that stuff. So, like, you just got to have kind of this perspective shift where a lot of people, their biggest problem is they don't think they have anything of value that somebody else might want to pay for. And that's just not true. And it doesn't matter if you're, a young person or, you're 90 years old. Now, I mean, granted, when you're 90, you probably have a lot more things that you can share than when you're 16 or something like that. But that doesn't mean that you don't have something of value that you can share. So you find those value items that you know about, and from there we can move on, because the fear, basically, I think, comes from just thinking you don't have anything original to offer. And even if you're offering something very similar to somebody else, like me and you are kind of on the similar track as far as the things that we offer, but we come from 2 different perspectives. So both of those perspectives are valuable. That's why I don't have any, issue like promoting your stuff, for example. You're not my competitor, you're my peer. Like, we both have unique things that we bring to the table that are worthwhile for somebody to, purchase and learn from.
That's true. Excuse me. That's terrific, Joe, and I agree and concur, and I feel the same way, and I appreciate the support that you've given me and for my products. So thank you. All right. So I'm. Let's say I'm me. I'm a 67-year-old semi-retired bloke, and I play golf and I like gardening. And people have said they like my writing. I write this, I write that, but I've never really done much with it. But I'd love to think I could publish something and really make an extra dollar to buy extra coffee or an extra round of golf. I don't know what to do next. What do I do next?
Well, generally, I suggest the lowest entry bar, honestly, that you can do is PDFs. They're the most, in my opinion, as far as a digital product goes, they're one of the most valuable and easiest things to create. Like, you don't need fancy programs. You don't need to go out and, purchase like all these word processing programs that a lot of people advertise. You don't need to drop $150. If you have a free Gmail account and access to G Drive, you can make a PDF. It exports it to PDF, and it's easy to format. You don't have to put a pretty cover on it. All you have to do is be useful. That's it. That's the whole key, is being useful. Can you tell me something about gardening, for example, with your examples. Tell me when I should plant my summer garden to grow the best vegetables. 15 pages of exactly that information, that's valuable if I'm looking for that. Golfing, how do I get the best swing? If you can show me how to do that in a page, I'll pay you $20 for it if that's what you want, because that's my interests. So it's all about the way you position it. You don't have to go out here and be slick. Like, a lot of people think that they have to have these things perfect, and you don't need it perfect. Perfect is not the end goal. You want usable and useful. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
Usable and useful. Well, they are key words that will go down into whatever chat notes we create. Usable and useful. Well, that's an epiphany, and that's really, if somebody watching this, and we've got some viewers with us, and again, thank you for staying with us. If you're looking for something from this interview with Joe Forrest about digital product creation. And, I always recommend, if you get one insight from something like reading a book or an interview or a podcast, if you get an insight, if you get that aha moment, that's it. You've got it. You've won. Take that away from you and put it into practice, and you've just got it. Just make it useful and usable and useful. And can I just supplement something, Joe, there, because you touched on it there. And I think this feeds into the feeling of a lack of confidence. My experience is, because I've had it, I've been there, imposter syndrome, lack of confidence, lack of belief. And I think the lack of confidence, when we're aware of it, comes, what we're not aware of is that it can come from thinking we have to be a certain type of person or appear to be a certain type of person in print or on video or something like that. Whereas if you just be you in writing and how you write, be you in how you present, and don't be worrying about polishing it so that it looks like it's Hollywood standard or Netflix standard or it's Ernest Hemingway quality, whatever. Forget that. That would be how I would supplement the great advice you gave, Joe. All right, so somebody's got they've got a Gmail account, they've got Google Drive, they've typed out a 20-page Google Docs document, they're formatted where they think it's readable and usable, and they export it as a PDF. They upload it to Gumroad or another platform, but you and I like Gumroad, and you do also publish on other platforms. I acknowledge that, and there it is, and it's for sale. What price do they put on it?
Honestly, that one is a question that I've wrestled with a lot, because the constant advice that you'll see is always, price it for the value that it provides, which I agree with. But a lot of the times, a lot of people, I think, maybe overvalue their stuff. They have a 15, 20, 30-page PDF, and they'll put it up for like $40, $30, which, I mean, if you're getting sales and that's what your audience wants, that's great. I think that's what you should do. Like, I'm not against anybody making money the way they make money at all. But me personally, I tend to price affordably. And when I say affordably, I make it so it's not even a thing to have to think about getting it. Like, generally, I do between $4 and $10. And if it's something a little deeper and I do a deep dive, I might do up to $20 to $25 roughly. But honestly, it all depends on the value that I pack into the PDF. I try to make everything useful, though. Of course, I don't want somebody even paying $4 and then going, "Oh, this is crap." This Joe Forrest guy, he's crap. He's just trying to sell me a load of bull. I don't want that. So, like, if
No.
you pay me $4, you're probably going to get something pretty good. If you pay me $30 for a product, you're going to get something phenomenal. That's the way I do it, but it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. I mean, if you're sitting there and you're doing one of these 17, module courses, like I've mentioned in some of my products, and you put in hours and hours, yeah, of course, you're probably going to want to charge more for that. You put a lot of hours into that. But
Yeah.
when I produce a PDF, like you, I can usually do one in about a day if I really focus on it. So
Yeah.
I price it accordingly. And I was poor growing up. So like I understand the value of dollar. And even, as an adult, there's been times when I've, had $10 to my name and I have to really think hard about what I'm gonna spend that on. So that's the mindset that I try to have, but that's not necessarily the mindset everybody should have. Like you should find out what your audience wants and then the value you provide and then price accordingly in that order, in my opinion.
Fantastic. Two things come to mind if I can quickly share on top of that, Joe. One is I can't remember who, I'm sure we've all heard the story. If I sold a single page PDF and it was a map to where there's hidden treasure, what price would you pay for it? So there's that. And that ties in with the value, the perceived value of the buyer, not the constructed value of the creator. Then the product that I created, which was the first product I created on Gumroad less than 3 months ago. So I'm a newbie neophyte here, but I priced it at 99 cents, and you might think 99 cents was it just crazy. But I did it strategically. The first 10 got it at 99 cents. Then it was $4.99 for the next 10. And then it jumped up to now selling at $27 and it's selling like hotcakes. And so, what do you think of the advice? It's better to start low and increment high than to start high and price yourself out of the possible market and then look silly dropping your price.
Yeah, I would say the low pricing, like what you did, it's a great strategy because it's basically product validation while still giving you some sort of income. So, I mean, your time monetarily is not wasted. Even if you're bringing in 99 cents, if you sell 100 of those at 99 cents, that's $100. So that's $100 you didn't have. But you're
Mm.
also giving a low cost of entry to the people you're trying to attract to buy the product. So that validates the product. And if the product's good, yeah, absolutely. Take the price up a little bit. See where they'll go. If they're still willing to pay for it at $5 and it's still valuable, yeah, take it up some more. And always, I would suggest if you ever revise it, if you ever revise a product to add more information and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to want to take the price up a little. You just want to be careful that you don't go too high. You don't want to, like we were saying, you don't want to outprice your market. You want to keep it in that sweet spot where they just, yeah, I'll buy that. That's not too much. I can afford that. That's like Netflix and Hulu subscriptions. That's if I can make some money, I can pay for those Netflix and Hulu subscriptions, and this will pay for itself. So, I mean, you got to give that kind of quality and value to your customer at all times. Like, and if they want to come back, and I think this one's really important, and they're like, this didn't help me at all, just give them their money back. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not honestly worth the hassle of like trying to argue with somebody. And you never know, maybe they'll change their mind and come back and buy something else from you, especially if they have a good experience when it comes to, hey, this didn't help me. Well, okay. I feel you on that. Here's your money back. No
Yeah.
worries. Not a big deal.
Oh, couldn't agree with you more, Joe. You as the product creator will sleep better at night, hopefully, if you've got some conscience. And the customer, the customer who didn't feel they got value, will feel okay about it, and you could even turn them around. And that's the spot I concur with that. Again, Joe, we are on the same level, except for that drug selling analogy before. But we'll talk about that another time.
I don't know what you're talking about. This isn't going to be on the internet and stay here forever, is it?
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
All right, Joe. So, all right. So we're thinking from behind the eyes of someone who wants to be a digital product creator. They're listening to Joe Forrest, who's got some expertise in the area. He helps people out with systems and processes. and systems and processes, as simple as it can be to create a PDF in one day. And I've done it, and you have too, as you say, and others have done. In fact, can I just quickly give a shout out to somebody who I know who is on Substack, a lovely lady by the name of Monica Hebert. She made over $1,000 in 4 weeks selling PDFs. Now, $1,000, it's relative. $1,000 to some people is like pocket change. $1,000 to somebody in 4 weeks can be quite significant. So it's all relevant. But to me, $1,000 for selling PDFs in 4 weeks is a tremendous achievement. You can make a couple of extra dollars. You can make a couple of extra $100, or you can go gangbusters and put yourself right into it and create a little bit of a mini side gig out of this, selling digital products. Or I tend to focus at the moment on PDFs. You've got PDFs, but you did say that you don't exclusively work creating PDFs. What are some other examples of digital products that our listeners and viewers could get interested in?
Well, I've done a lot of different things over the years. Templates, spreadsheet templates, they sell pretty well, especially if it's something useful. Like one of the things that I offer is a revenue tracker for creators, and it tells you everything you need to know from your MMR to your, what you need to pay in taxes if you're in the States, of course. Sorry, I don't have one for Australia yet. But if you're in the States, it tells you what you need to put back for taxes on what you made and everything else. That way you don't get messed over at the end of the year when the tax man comes. And things like that tend to do pretty good. I mean, it's helpful, it's easy, and it's a lot less expensive paying me $7 for a spreadsheet than going out and, spending, 50 to 150 on something like Quicken or QuickBooks or any of those things. And it does the same thing, and it keeps a trackable record. So I would say any sort of trackers generally do pretty well. Templates, if you can give somebody an easy way to, I don't know, a quick example would be like post templates or a newsletter template. You put these in there, just copy it over, paste it, and you're good to go. Just fill in your information. People like that kind of stuff. Also, I mean, there's a lot of people that have a lot of success with like these the coloring books, that they make with AI and things like that. Not really my bag, but a lot of people are doing very well doing that kind of stuff. Diaries, journals, things of that nature. So there's a lot of wiggle room out there when it comes to just digital products that are very easy to make, and they're very easy to continue to produce, and people love them.
The entry bar is very low, isn't it? Like you said at the beginning, from a cost point of view, there's no licensing required. There's no certification or diploma or doctorate of philosophy. You can literally create a digital product today. Some of the examples you gave there, especially with the use of AI as a tool, and publish it, have it on a platform like Gumroad, have it available for sale, price it somewhere in that sweet spot that Joe recommended between $4 and $10, and then let people know about it. Now, what are the ways that our viewers, if they follow this advice you're giving, Joe, maybe someone will even do this today or tomorrow. And okay, they've got their brand new digital product up on Gumroad. They've got it priced. It's ready. How do they let people know about it? What's the best way you've found?
Honestly, the best way I've found is through newsletter. Because the people that will come and sign up for your newsletter after you build a list, they want to be there. They want to see what you have to offer. So that's the easiest way, but that way takes a little bit more time. So like you have to be patient. And as long as you're patient and you're again providing something useful to people, then that'll grow over time and you'll get more and more sales. Other ways you can do it are places like Medium. List write your blog post over whatever your topic is. Make the topic about your product, but not specifically necessarily about your product, and then drop links in there. Hey, this could help you figure this all out. And that's a good way. It's hit or miss sometimes with social media because of just the way the algorithms work. So
Yeah.
if you have a big following on social media, yeah, absolutely use those. If you don't have a big following, maybe you can the way I found best to do there is not the hard sell, but to answer questions. Find places where people are facing the problems that you're trying to solve and join the conversation. Don't just start sharing your link. Nobody likes that. Like, pretty much you're going to get ignored or, muted or blocked. So go
Yeah.
in there and answer some questions, be useful, and then, casually say, hey, oh, by the way, I made a product that's, very affordable that might actually help you with this. If they want the link, you just drop the link and there you go. You probably got a sale. So you don't have to be, I read the new PDF you put out about sales today and really love the information there because I've never been the best salesman. I know to make an offer, and that's the most important part. You got to make an offer. You're not going to sell anything without making an offer somewhere. But you don't have to be that slimy used car salesman guy that makes everybody just go like, "Oh, yeah, I don't even want to go buy a car." Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. That's not necessary at all. Just go out there, be yourself, like we were saying earlier, and be helpful. And people will see that. Like, people will recognize that. I mean, it won't be everybody necessarily at first, but once you've made a name for yourself, so to speak, you've put yourself out there and they look at you as an authority, it's going to come. Like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Like, pretty soon you're going to be like, wow, man, like, why are so many people coming to me for answers? Like, that's when you actually
Absolutely.
that's when you got to worry about the imposter syndrome, because then you start sitting there going, wow, do I really know the answers to this? Or am I just BSing these people? Like, I'm not even sure. But I mean, of course you're not, but psychology's weird that way.
Oh, isn't it ever? I still suffer from it at times. I get some feedback and I just think, "Oh, did they really read it? Did they?" But, uh, if I can just also, because we're on Substack right now, and I know you've got a newsletter, as do I, so which means that people subscribe to it. So we've got our followers who aren't subscribers, so they don't get our emailed newsletter, and then we've got our subscribers who will see, by virtue of being a subscriber, our notes and our posts, but they'll also get the newsletter in their email inbox. You do that, I do that. Uh, and I've found that this statistic actually blew me away. My So 1 in 3 people. So this is the great thing about Gumroad when you talk about systems and procedures. Part of it, when you really get into it, is you've got to have a look at your analytics. You've got to know what's working and why, and what's not working, and where things are working best. And so when I looked at the analytics, I see, just one I'll quote, 1 in 3 visitors from Substack to my Gumroad page, a store, have downloaded or bought one of my products. 1 in 3, a 30% conversion, which is about 3 times higher than the next source of traffic to the store. And so for those of us who are with us, Joe, this is something that's encouraging, because we're on Substack. Those who are with us now are also Substack users, and they can take good light from this if they follow your advice, get the message out, send an email, well, build your post and build your subscribers for your newsletter. Then let people know that you've published a product. Do it in a soft sell way, not a hard sell, icky car salesman style, and invite people to have a. You don't even have to say buy it if you want or don't buy it if you want. I'll give a. It's something I use and it works. You can just say something as soft as, if you want to have a look at how I've got it positioned on Gumroad right now, here's the link. Now, that's not saying come buy it or don't buy it. It's just go and have a look.
Yep.
And if they like what they see, the sale may happen. The other thing too, Joe, may I say too, because you touched on something that does hold a lot of people back. Fear of rejection, which ties into I've got to please everybody, and if I don't please one person, I'm shattered, my life ends, I'll get embarrassed and I'll cry and curl up in the fetal position. No. Here's the thing. I like anchovies. If I hosted an afternoon anchovy on dry cracker party at my house, I'd have people that would come because they like anchovies too. But there's people who don't like anchovies and they wouldn't come. That's perfectly okay. I don't like boiled tripe, and I'd never go and eat boiled tripe at anybody's house. Some people love boiled tripe. That's just nature, isn't it? Human nature. So we don't try to reach everybody, Joe, do we?
No, you've got to look for your people. And I mean, if you have a real voice and you're not trying to copy all the gurus out there, you're not, just, you know, posting, those trite little pithy, posts, like just be you. Like if somebody rejects you, like nobody's gonna remember it. Like that's important to keep in mind. Nobody remembers that stuff. Like you're the only one that remembers that. Like and I know I've been there. Like I do have, several times when I've been told no, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. But it's not. It's not the end of the world. You kind of like pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just keep going, man. That's the only way you can do it. But yeah, the rejection honestly gets easier because you realize it's not about you. It's, they either aren't the audience that you're looking for, which is fine. Like you said, not everybody has the same preferences or needs or desires. So you can't hold that against people. But I mean, you also can't worry about it because you're going to get there. Like if you keep putting in the work every single day and you keep doing the things that you know are going to get eyeballs on what you're doing and they see that you're providing value, it's going to work out. You just have to have a little patience sometimes and get over that urge for instant gratification that so much of social media and the internet has taught us over the past 30 years, with their like buttons and everything else, that instant dopamine hit. Get over the instant dopamine hit. Probably not going to happen, but one day after a lot of work, you're going to be an overnight success.
Fantastic, Joe. I always say on these, no, I don't always say. I sometimes say on calls like this, time flies when you're having fun, and I'm respectful of your time, Joe, and I appreciate it. I want you to wrap up with if you've got a favourite quote or some lasting piece of advice you want to give to somebody. But before you do, I've got something out of this, as I knew I would, because Joe, you mentioned that there's something developing on Gumroad about how AI is integrated now with Gumroad. I've not seen it, uh, and I'm a big fan of AI. I use ChatGPT. In fact, I'm thinking of changing my name officially to Michael ChatGPT by default, but that's another story. Uh, AI with Gumroad, I'm going to look at that. See now, from the viewer's point of view, that's so. What comes to my mind, apart from my ears pricked up, and that's something I would want to look at and use. If I'm interested in that, you can back it in. Somebody else will be interested in it too. That is the seed of a new PDF, problem-solving PDF or guide. And one of our listeners could, as an example, go on to Gumroad if they've already got a Gumroad account. If they're not already familiar with the AI process, have a look at it, make some notes, generate a 10-page PDF, and title it in an intriguing way to generate interest and curiosity, and put it out there for $4.99. You could do that in a day, and you could have a PDF selling within 24 hours. Am I right?
Easily. Like it's not even a challenge anymore to do that.
Yeah. All right. What's your last? Oh, Joe, where do people go to find out more about what you do and what you're about? What's your URL that you'd like people to visit?
The easiest place to get me is at the main website, which is nicheof.one.
Say it again, please.
It's nicheof.one. one.
Niche of dot one.
Yep. That's
OME.
that will take you to the landing page. It's the main domain that I have connected to Substack. It'll take you to the main website that I've got there.
Terrific. Now, for our viewers, thank you for sticking with us. You're always welcome, and we're glad that you've been with us. You've been with Joe Forrest, who is the ops guy for creators, and he's given us some insights into digital product creation, PDFs, and other digital products, how easy it is, how you don't need to have any roadblocks in front of you, get rid of fear, imposter syndrome, lack of confidence. Just get the thing done. Get it out there. Put it up there. Put a price on it. Get it done. You will be so relieved when somebody downloads your first product, and you'll then want to go steamrolling ahead onto your second and your third, and that's how it works. Parting words, Joe, please.
Well, the thing that I always tell people is do the work. You can sit here and you can think about what you want to do, what your dreams are, and you can think and plan and all that forever. Stop waiting for perfection. Just do the work. Just get out there, get it done, put it out there. If it's ugly the first time, don't worry about it. Again, this is the internet. People probably aren't going to remember that. Like, unless you do something drastic, nobody is going to remember that. So just put it out there. See what works. Refine your process, do the work, and eventually you will get exactly to where you want to be.
Joe Forrest, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your wisdom and your advice. And to our viewers who have stayed with us on this live feed, thank you very much. We appreciate you. And if you're watching the recording, there'll be some notes down somewhere. I'll take care of it. Okay, everybody, enjoy your life. Happy days.
Have a great day.